And most blacks didn't really want to go. It was terrifying.
We just did what we were told to do.
The schools are still backwards.
Oh, I love that. You feel safe. Now that when I got home, I told Mama, I said, I'm not taking this no more.
Oh, we are back once again, ladies and gentlemen, with another show called Rebranders. I'm your host, Anthony Goodson, alongside two of my co-hosts. One of them is very ugly, and one of them is very good looking. I'll let y'all decide which one. In no particular order. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Of course, we have Adrian, the Ace Stinson. What's up, Ace?
I just had
Somebody
being
say
like
hello,
that.
boys.
Chanel.
Chanel. What's up, Chanel? That's my classmate, one of my lovely dear friends. Thank you for joining us, Chanel. We appreciate you. And please comment. Tell us what you think. Tonight, we got a very interesting show. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. We're all over the place tonight. We're going to enjoy ourselves with the conversation. Y'all can tell us whatever y'all want to tell us, and we're going to talk about that. But hey, let's start. Let's jump into it. First of all, let me ask y'all, how's y'all's week been so far?
Pretty good. I can't complain. I'm here.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. Try not waking up. See how excited you is.
Okay.
Oh man, damn.
Depending where you're going.
All right, look, we're going to just jump right on into this conversation. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to make it fun. We're going to stay off our normal, typical conversations that we always talk about. But we're going to get serious, though. I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this submarine incident. Visiting the Titanic. How do y'all feel about that? For those of you who don't know, and I don't know how that's possible, I believe it was 4 or 5 individuals, billionaires, rich folk, went down to visit the Titanic a couple weeks ago, and they never came back up. So, presumably dead, I guess, right? Because they never found the bodies or anything like that. Of course, I believe the machine imploded or whatnot. Nevertheless, we now have, the machine back, but there's no bodies in the machine. Lots of jokes are going out there. A lot of people are very upset about, the way we are receiving this as a people. However, I want to know what you guys think. Tell me.
Unpopular opinion on my end. You want to go first?
I don't have much opinion about it at all, honestly, because I feel like some things need to be left alone. I mean, you got to find out everything in what's going on in the world, in my opinion. I mean, I definitely wouldn't, if they offer me the opportunity to go down there, I definitely wouldn't have gone. It is tragic that the people have not been found yet. So that's definitely sad about that piece of it. But I will say, though, that some things, why we worry about the Titanic at this point, and as most stuff in the news, it's a distraction, in my opinion, for something else. So,
all right, so we're talking about the Titanic. You know what? I think, I don't understand how we're so enthralled in that type of history. That, we have to go, 15,000 meters or so down into the ocean to find something. And, the thing is, they couldn't get out of the machine. They only look at it. I don't know how long they would stay down there to look at it, but they only look at it and then they pop right back up. Now, James Cameron, the director who wrote Titanic, he also did, he directed it. He also did the Terminators and all these. He went down there 33 times. And fortunately, he came up, I guess. But I just don't understand the purpose of it. Just to see it.
What did he miss the other 32 times?
I guess he was doing research for the movie. Maybe they're gonna do a Titanic.
I can give him that excuse. So I got my opinion on it is stupidity. It's like I'm not putting myself in a trap, like two, you're in something you can't get out of and you're underwater. It's like you're not Houdini, but one thing that really kind of disappointed me is the insensitivity of everybody, and just because they were billionaires and they were white, people act like it wasn't people losing their lives, like it wasn't people that died. At some point in time, it's like we got to have some type of humanity going on. It's like, we can't cry and say, well, we want this. Oh, that's insensitive. You can't say this. But then we do stuff like that. We could have stopped it with just saying, look at their dumb ass. We could have stopped it there.
But you know what, though? Let's be real. So you got some homeless person, or you got some person who lives in Somalia, some third world country, right? They look at people like us who get in an airplane and travel to beaches and travel to different, place, New York, wherever we may go, just so we can sightsee and do the exact same thing they can't afford to do. So once you become a billionaire, all those things have been done by you. You don't care about any part of the country, outside the, Earth. Now you want to start exploring either Mars, the moon, or maybe deep down below water. So truth be told, I kind of understand it. Now, would I do it? No, I would never do it. I first of all, I'm afraid of water and height. So I'm gonna sit right here on this ground. But I kind of understand for those who got that Thanatos in them. That's what it's called.
I'm not knocking them because the people that's going to space with Jeff Bezos, it ain't nothing different. They went to space. They went, they went under the water. But I do agree with Eric. When you look at everything else that was going on, it was a distraction the way the media covered. Not saying that it didn't happen, but the media could have covered it and they didn't cover any of the other stuff. And it's always that one person say, well, it was on the news. Yeah, I understand the 3-second spotlight that it got. But, I think Biden was going through some type of impeachment hearing. And it was a couple of more things that happened. Oh, they accidentally found was it 6.2 billion or was it like 26 billion? But okay, well, let's just put it on the low end. They found like $6.2 billion, talking about they audited, so they were able to send more money to Ukraine, and so they wouldn't take the free money and do anything for it here. So it was a lot of other stuff they could have been covering.
Let's go to the comments. My girl Chanel, she said, hey, say her last name, by the way. I'm very good at it. I say it all the time, sometimes practice.
Oh, she got to be related to Morris Day, chef.
Bevilacqua. Chanel Bevilacqua. She says,
like
risks is fun, it's exciting. If they're done, they died doing what they wanted to do. If not, the distraction worked. I love it. I mean, they died doing what they wanted to do. They died doing something they probably felt was exciting. The name is all over the news. They're celebrities to a certain somewhat. I can't name it. Yeah, they'll never know. But if you're gonna go out at the highest, right?
I thought you were gonna be this type. I thought you were gonna say go out with a bang, and that thing imploded.
Yeah, I actually thought about that. And
I would have said go out with a bang. Look, I'm being insensitive like everybody else.
Before we move on, y'all be sure to go to the documentary.
Share this page.
I was not even.
Oh God!
Go watch Because of You. It's my documentary. It is on our Facebook page right here. This is me, Anthony Goodson. It's the YouTube channel. I'm promoting my own stuff. In a little bit, we're going to promote Aces. All right.
Shout out to the public real quick. Let y'all know. Definitely go check out the documentary. It's something big. Folks that know Anthony right now, you got a chance to see the stuff on the ground floor because this thing about to take off. So go check it out so you can say you saw it before you had to pay to see it.
Absolutely. Also, subscribe to the page, both this one and my YouTube channel. All right, Ace says, can't forget about the 14-year-old boy in Chicago that killed the dude for hitting his mom. Tell us a little bit more about that. I have no clue.
You're putting my personal business on the screen. Let me write some of these cuss words.
Boy. It's all good.
Well, this is definitely a big topic that was going on. So you had an incident in Chicago where a man and a woman got into a verbal argument. I think they were in a restaurant or something. The atmosphere really don't matter. They were in an establishment. The woman's blah, 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 blah. The dude's blah, 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 blah. The dude's like, yo, shut up talking to me, shut up talking to me. So then he hit, he said, if you say one more word, I'm gonna knock you out. If you say one more word, I'm gonna knock you out. The woman keeps talking. This dude started wailing on this woman like he's fighting for his life in the penitentiary. I'm talking about giving it to her. Bow, bow. Her son goes to the car. Son comes back in with a gun, and I don't know the details 100%. Everybody's saying she told him to go to the car, things like that. They prove she didn't tell him to go get a gun, but he comes back and kills the dude.
All right, let's step back a little bit. Let's just say that she did tell him to go get the gun. Is that so bad? I mean, she getting beat half to death.
Well, I think the problem was with that was it was her 14-year-old son.
I need help from a 2-year-old. If I need help, I'm not considering how many months he's been on this earth. You know, I think, and this happened in Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago is an interesting city.
They could have been eating pizza instead of doing all that.
They probably was eating pizza while doing all that.
You know what? Say something else. Nah, but anyway, so they get charged. The mom and son get locked up after that, and she's beat up. I mean, if you seen the video, this dude, I'm talking about, like, it wasn't just like he was giving to her like she was a dude that was bigger than him. And they got locked up. Then, like a couple of days later, charges were dropped completely for them. Now, here's the irony of the thing. Well, one, she's suing them because she basically she took that butt whooping, and then they arrest her. But the second thing is now there's a GoFundMe out. The guy's family has a GoFundMe out saying help bury.
Are these black people?
Yes.
Unfortunately, both sides.
So obviously, it made national news, so they'll bring a little bit of money in, but I wouldn't expect too much. Maybe the burial, not a headstone.
Well, you know what? They need to go in there and get a good deal. They need to whoop the funeral director's ass like they daddy was whooping that woman. See what they go. Well, we'll give you the casket. Damn.
Okay.
All right. So if y'all have any topics or any comments about the topics we're talking about, be sure to chime in. We're enjoying this tonight. So we had something to happen recently. A couple nights ago, the BET Awards. First of all, Michael Jackson has been dead for, I believe, it's 14 years. His anniversary this past Sunday. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same night BET Awards, which was kind of ironic from the night he actually did die. I think it happened the day before or something. Nevertheless, the BET Awards happened this past weekend, or was it Monday? One of the two. And I didn't watch it. Let me be honest with y'all. I do not have cable. I don't watch cable. I watch Netflix and all that stuff. And of course, I do a lot of stuff on my computer. So I didn't get a chance to see the BET Awards. What about you two?
I have it, but I refuse to watch it.
Okay. Eric?
My wife had it on in one of the rooms. I heard some of the songs and some of the stuff they was doing, more old school type stuff I heard, and a lot of people say it was pretty good this year, but I didn't really watch it. I just heard it from another room.
Well, I've heard mixed, certain people said that Busta Rhymes was supposed to talk for 2 minutes. He talked for 10, but I can listen to Busta Rhymes for an hour. So I wouldn't be too upset with that. Of course, I also heard Patti LaBelle didn't know any other Tina Turner song or words to the Tina Turner song. So a lot of people are disappointed with that. Patti is 140 years old. Give her a pass.
You know what? It don't matter. Let me tell you like this. Let's use Prince and Michael Jackson, the two best, right? So let's say they were alive, and let's say when Mike passed, Prince was still alive for a while, right? Is it Prince's responsibility to know the words to Mike's song? He's Prince. Right. That's Mike. I mean, he's just like anybody else. Oh, let me learn these lyrics. They want me to sing. Let me learn these lyrics. But they Patti LaBelle don't know Tina Turner? Well, damn, she Patti LaBelle.
And Tina, see, that's my take on it. Tina just died about a month ago. I'm sure they probably didn't think right when she died, we got to get Patti LaBelle. They probably waited a week or so ago. Patty's 80 years old. Patti probably didn't just know the song, so she probably been listening to it the past few days. Man, but
that's why I hate the awards. That's why I hate the awards right there. The reason why I tell you I refuse to watch it is because a couple of things we already said. You said people said Busta Rhymes supposed to talk for 2 minutes. He talked for 10 minutes. Busta Rhymes is a wise guy, is a wise dude who speaks a lot of knowledge, right? We don't want to hear him speak for 10 minutes. Then you say, whoa, Patti LaBelle forgot the words to Tina Turner's song. So now, let's talk about Patti and stuff like that. But we can't get enough for twerking. If they twerk for 10 minutes, it's not enough.
Oh yeah.
If the half-naked chicks is talking about the color of their back orifice, like that out the booty hole, the back orifice. If they talking about that, we can't get enough. They can stay on stage as long as we want. But the semi stuff and the positive stuff like that, oh, they did this and they did that. It's a ratchet fest to me. And hey, you can come to me if you want. It's unpopular opinion. I really don't care. But I think it's one of the most embarrassing things going on with the black culture right now.
I'll finish something he was saying though. But I agree with Jace. I think that a lot of this stuff is ratchet, and you know, I'll disagree here that you're not alone. You're not unpopular. I think a lot of people feel like you feel like some of the stuff is ratchet, some of the stuff is a little bit.
I'm from.
Little bit. You better know.
Hey guys.
Well, I'm about to get some.
Yeah, you already doing it. Let's go to the comments. Patty should have never been the person picked to do a tribute to Tina Turner. My girl, Sky. Thank you for the comments, Sky. Ron, my boy, James said, why did they have all young people in the front row? And I guess
everybody
didn't know any words.
Yeah, didn't know any words. I agree with you, Ron, on that one.
Sky also says, a lot of ratchet. Too much.
That's what I was saying before I froze. It's the most ratchet. I think the BET Hip Hop Awards is one of the most embarrassing things in black culture right now. I didn't say I said one of. It's on the list. I truly do.
Everybody wants to know what the most embarrassing thing is.
What's the most embarrassing thing right now in black culture? Hip hop as a whole. And I hate to say as a whole because the people who we do have in there, but the current state of hip hop and what's running, that's the most embarrassing thing in black culture right now. If I was a racist person, I'd look at BET and laugh all day.
But this is the interesting part here. I think since Tyler Perry, I think you guys talked about Tyler Perry last week acquiring BET and VH1, right? So I wonder, will this shift a little bit since he took over next year and moving forward? So I don't definitely want to put anything that happened yesterday. I mean on Sunday and previous VT's award shows on Tyler at all. Obviously, I'm curious to see what's going to happen and transpire after he's taken over and had time to figure out how to do things a little bit differently and how it's going to look. So I'm curious how it's going to turn out personally.
I'm kind of curious to know what's his motivation behind BET. He's got BET, he's got VH1, so that's two different things going on there. But what's your motivation? Is it all money? Because if it's all money, that's a whole different story right there. What sells? And we don't care what culture looks like. We don't care what ratchet looks like. We want to make this money. What sells? And BET is known notoriously to have the lowest commercial rate in television, in all television.
They don't have multiple demographics. They got one demographic.
Well, so now if it's all about the money, how does that change? Because now you're trying to bring in a different demographic, and you really can't promote Black power to all different demographics. The only people I know who do that's kind of multi-ethnic is McDonald's. They 365 Black, but no one else can do that. So BET, specifically being a Black entity, I don't see them having any kind of real power doing that. No success at all.
Well, you can if you turn to more positive programming. I don't care what color you are. Some of our old TV shows that they can put in place and put back in rotation, everybody loves that. Who doesn't love Robert Townsend? Shows like Parenthood or Flex when he was the daddy on One-on-One, and some of those shows. The Cosby Show, Different World. The positive, some of the positive stuff when the family could watch TV together, and things like that. I think Tyler Perry can do it. There's a large following now of other races for BET. And so I think we can still do the
there is, but it wasn't Black owned at the time.
Not at all.
See, when it's not Black owned, you don't have Black thought, you don't have Black mind, you don't have Black attention. You really have everybody else's attention. BET.
You think them folks are really involved? BET, they just only got the money. That's like Caesar when he on top of the thing. They, what should we do?
Well, and Tyler Perry, he's also figured out how to having more inclusion with all type of demographics, with this plays and some of his movies, although some of them are not good quality. But the thoughts and the some of the positivity that Ace is talking about has been the most of his things he's put out there. So I think if there's ways to do it, I think he can do it. But I agree with, I think if it's about the motivation behind it, if it's more about money, we'll see that. But if it's not all about money, then we also will see that based on what happens next year or two.
All right, so y'all know back in our day, in the 90s, I guess, we even had, speaking of Ratchet, we had Sita. What I mean, like, even if we go backwards,
she was the beginning. She was the beginning.
She wasn't the beginning. She was the beginning. She was in the 90s.
I think what you're talking about, Sita. I never watched it.
We didn't even have Hope no more. The cartoons turned rap. But see, this is the difference, though. Ratchet people exist, right? They got to have stuff, too. That's fine. This is the difference. Give them their hour and then move on. The problem is now, Ratchet people got the entire day. And then you got like probably an hour worth of positive stuff like Sunday nights at 9:00. You got a gospel hour.
The problem with Ratchet is you realize real fast that Ratchet makes money. Like, what's his name? You Are Not the Maury Povich. That made money. Jerry Springer, that made money. So when we started going towards that Ratchet junk, then we started seeing it everywhere. So that's why we have to kind of get away from the money and get to the positivity. And once you start directing it in that direction, then you start having a lot of good luck. Cosby Show made a lot of money. And if they'd have kept going in that direction, you would have been promoting that kind of a lifestyle, that college. I think I read somewhere recently, and I saw a video also, that after A Different World came out, more black women in the history of during that show black women became lawyers than before. Like they just started, like the numbers went up. And Max or whoever was on that, she wasn't even a real lawyer, but she started motivating people to be lawyers. You see the positive outcome that happens because of that. So if you give Ratchet people an opportunity to be ratchet, once they start watching that 1 hour of ratchetness, what do? They go in the street and do or display what they just saw. So I think if you're talking about doing something for the culture, Ratchet is unfortunately not part of it. It's like you can't have a church and then give the worldly people their hour. No, they got to come in and fit in with the church hour, So I think that Tyler Perry's got a huge uphill battle because of these award shows and all these things. But I think he's got an opportunity. And if he put the right people in place, because Tyler Perry is not the cure-all, not him himself. He can just put the right people in place. And I can see a lot of great things happening from BET. And then he might be able to get people to watch it again because the numbers are low.
Well, check this out though. I think we also as viewers have to be intentional too. So if Ratchet does sell, that means a lot of people who think it is Ratchet is not watching it, but people who like Ratchet is watching it. So if he start putting out positive shows, then we have to support that as opposed to not watching it at that time. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we definitely have to support it.
If he do his part, then we also have to do our part. I think a lot of time we miss that piece. We want people to put stuff in place, but always supporting that stuff.
And there you go. That's the problem. So I think you need to dump all the Ratchet stuff. We got VH1 now. Dump it on VH1. It'll be all right. Bring all right. Positive stuff.
We're going to get ready to go to a commercial break in a few minutes. And I didn't tell y'all this before the show, but I want y'all to think about something. This is like a fun portion. I want the audience to join in. Before we do that, let's go to the comment real quick. Nipple pasties went up 75. My man Ron.
Hey, all right. Yeah. Now, some things ratchetly we can appreciate.
So this is a fun part of the show. I would love for the audience to get involved with this. Ace, Eric, y'all think of something. I'm gonna stall for a minute so that y'all can think of something too. But name something that kids today, if we use the term we used to use back when we were kids, they would never understand. So if we use the term like, hey, roll that window down, they'll never understand that. I want y'all to think of something we say that back in our day that they would never understand. Another one, hey, do me a favor, dial my mama real quick. I need to talk to her. They'll never know what that means. Dial my, boop, 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 boop. Can y'all think of anything that we could say from back in the day that we can't say today?
Oh, yeah, I still say today, look at me crazy. Go draw you some bath water.
That's a good one.
That's just what I say.
You can say that today.
No, because they be like, what am I drawing? What do you mean drawing?
Well, how did you draw one back then too?
No, I didn't. I don't know why I've been saying that my whole life. I grew up around too many old people. I've been saying that for the longest though. Just like, or sometimes when I'm talking to a youngster like my kids, of course, one of their friends be over. I'm like, hey, go grab me that such out the ice box, and then it's freeze like
ice box. Me and my wife had this conversation just a few minutes ago, and she said the exact same one, ice box. She laughs at it, But anyway, let's go to the comments. My mama, she said, "Be home before the street lights come on." First of all, that's like 3 parts. It's 3 things with this one. First of all, I don't even know if the street lights still come on. Do they still come on? I don't know if kids.
We in the house even before that now.
The kids don't go outside anymore anyway. So yeah, that's amazing. That's a good one right there. Eric,
what you got?
I think it's not really something that they would understand now, but like we can turn the air conditioner on until like 6, 7 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? So we had that window unit. Feel me? So they wouldn't understand that right now.
I'm laughing hard because my parents, they don't want me to embarrass them right now. So I won't do it. But 6 o'clock was early on that. We didn't even get a full 12 hours. 6 to 6.
Well, I'm going to tell you one you might know they can't get, because some people can't get, go water their fans so we can cool the house down.
Yep.
They don't know about no hay fan. Well, you gotta look her. Hay fans good and work, but somebody gotta suffer for them to work. You in the house cool, somebody sitting outside watering that thing down.
Ron James says, "Go get my pocketbook." I like that one. Go get my pocketbook. Here's another one. My mother, Deborah Goodson, once again. Here's another one. She said, "Go get me a Switch." Ooh, you can't say that to kids today. First of all, they don't know what it is. Second of all, you going to jail if you say that today.
Yeah, they'll walk back in the house with CPS. Yeah, she's over there.
Yeah, we're having fun tonight. Thank y'all for the comments. If you have any more, be sure to bring them in. Talking to rebrand us. Are you watching us, actually? And y'all, we got a whole lot more show left. If y'all have anything y'all want to talk about, be sure to chime in. Before I go to this quick break, I'm gonna play one more. I think my daddy said, Tony Goodson said, "Don't say anything about that air conditioner." Hey, you in my house, you could take a bath and you had to just air dry because all the towels in the house were under the doorway so that the air wouldn't go from one room to the next. We had 9 people was in my house. 9 people was in one room where the AC was blowing. So yeah, we felt that one. That was pretty good. Anyway, I'm gonna come back with the break here in just a little bit. If y'all have any more comments, be sure to put them out there. See y'all.
Want to bring that curb appeal back to your home or business? Let us help you. Call Ace Power Washing at 469-337-4080 or email us at powerwashingace3@gmail.com. Whether it's sidewalks, driveways, house or building washing, we'll take care of you. Call or email today for your free quote. We'll see you soon.
Actually, I didn't mean to play that.
There are several pioneers in the crusade to integration. But when asked who William J. Durham is,
I know who he is. He was
William Durham. I'm not too familiar with William Durham. Does he have another name?
I think that's where I know who he is. I know he was William Durham.
No William Durham.
Who?
I do not know him.
okay,
William Durham. Man, you got me. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Welcome back. You are watching Rebrand Us. Be sure to watch the documentary Because of You. Directed, narrated, written by yours truly. All right, let's go to the comments. Tony said, color TV. Oh, boy. Hey, listen here. In recent days, he knew I was going to say this. That's why he put it on there, Eric. In recent years, I'm thinking maybe 2019, maybe a little around before that time, my daddy told me he was going out, he was going to buy him a brand new, this is 2019, I'm going out. He said, yeah, you know, my other TV is going to mess up. So I think I'm going to go out and buy me a brand new color TV. I said, you got good news. I got good news for you. They don't make them any other way.
So you all good, huh?
You're all good. You can eliminate the color. All right, so we have a conversation about you guys. Whatever you guys want to talk about tonight. So if y'all throw something out there, we're going to talk about it. Ace is steadily bringing in some good conversations. I'll bring up this topic here in just a little bit. But anyway, let's talk about this Texas heat. It is hot. Now, this is rebranders. A lot of times we focus on the black issues. The ozone layer usually don't become or seep into our conversation. But today is hot, and it's only June 28th. We got 3 more months of just straight heat. All right, but my question is, see, I'm a cold weather guy. So is Eric. Ace, on the other hand, he loves the heat.
I love it.
Would you guys prefer this summer heat, or would you rather have those days where the night begins at 4 o'clock? I'm gonna start with Eric.
Like you said, I prefer a little bit cooler weather, but I think I'm going with the summer heat. I hate them early days, man. If they get rid of the daylight the daylight saving time, I'd be happy about that. So I'm going summer heat over that.
Ace?
Oh, you know me. I love 100 degree day. I mean,
I ain't loving them.
I wish that's where we could stay. I think what it is, it's not necessarily that it's so good, but I hate the cold so much. The cold hurt, man. 30 degrees sting. I can't take it. Give me 100 degrees. I'll be all right. Drink some water.
I am confident in who I am. For darkness all day long, 24/7 will be okay. I hate this heat. I hate it. I've been miserable the last 7 days, and I was sitting on my couch earlier, and I was thinking to myself, why am I so miserable these last 7 days? And I was hot when I was thinking it. I realized, look at him. He drinking water right now.
Hydrated.
Hydrate. He inside, and he got to rehydrate. This heat is just giving me a bad attitude. It's making my body hurt. I haven't lost any weight in the middle of this heat, so there's no real purpose for it.
Could you stand in the house hiding from it?
I'm outside walking. I'm doing whatever I need to do, but this heat just serves no real purpose. Accidentally mowed my yard too low the other day, and then I was fearful that the grass was gonna burn. I mean, it serves no real purpose.
Hey, don't be trying to keep up with that grass in this weather. Hey, I tell you, like I said, look, somebody gonna eat either the people or the grass. You gotta make a choice.
The summer heat is rough. All right, let's keep it moving, y'all. Y'all let us know what y'all
wait. Because in our region, you have to put out public service announcements. You know, if you know an elderly person or somebody disabled, make sure you're checking in on them in this heat to make sure that they're okay. You know, some older people, they don't have AC unit. I mean, you know, they don't have AC and things like that. Make sure they have water. Make sure you're doing courtesy checks on these people as you go along. For all my postal workers out there, y'all stay safe and y'all stay hydrated. You know, we had a North Texas postal worker drop dead the other day in the heat. You know, on the job hazard. It was just too hot for him. You know, so you guys make sure y'all staying hydrated.
Is that the one that the wife is now suing because they were complaining about how hot his truck was?
Yeah, I think so. But that's, you know, that's one of those things where it's kind of like, is that on the job hazard? I mean, because he's been a postman for years, so pretty sure you know the ins and the outs and you know all the above.
This heat is different. It's a different type of heat because I thought it was going to be, it stayed cool for a very long time. And then all of a sudden the heat came in one day and it went from 60 degrees to 100 degrees, seemed like overnight. It's tough. But you know what though? I mean, even though I respect your PSA, your public service announcement, I don't know that we need to really keep an eye on the elderly with this heat. Have you ever been into an elderly person's house in the middle of the winter?
Oh, yeah.
There's 140 degrees in that house. I think they're all right with the heat. You might want to check on them in the middle of the winter.
I'll put it to you like this. My grandmama just passed last month. Rest her soul, she was 96. She would have been 97 this month. If she was still here today at her house, the same way her stove is on in the winter, it still would be on in the summertime. She's talking about why everybody coming and going so fast. Look, I just came to check on you. It's still stinging my eyes.
You can't wear no grease on your hair and go to your grandma's house. Huh?
Everybody looking at me crazy because I get out the car in my drawers and walk in. What you doing? Look here, it's hot. You understand? We get in there.
So Nike co-founder Phil Knight donated $400 million to the 1803 fund. You're going to have to explain this a little bit, Ace, which will help rebuild the black communities in the Portland area. $400 million just for Portland.
Well, yeah, let me explain it. So evidently this guy is a co-founder of Nike. He wrote a check for $400 million. And he wrote the check to the 1803 fund.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I just read. So.
This is huge. Why this type of stuff not getting news? You know what I'm saying? Why this type of stuff is not getting news play, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if Portland is where he's from. I don't know if just I really don't know what the 1803 fund is, to be honest with you. So,
that's my next question. What is that?
You know what? Let me go to our friend Google and check it out.
I do believe that Nike, I don't know if he's from Portland, but I do know that Nike is up in the Oregon area. That's why you see Oregon State and all them wearing so many different colors, because they sponsored directly by Nike. But, you know, I think, you know, you made a comment there. You said, why is it not getting a lot of publicity? Honestly, I like the fact that it's not getting publicity. You know, you work, Jay-Z called it the superbug. A lot of stuff happens behind closed doors. Like if you do stuff and say stuff out in public, that's when people start shooting things down. But when you bring it behind closed doors, you put the work in, you get stronger, That's when the superbug comes out. So apparently he must have had a lot of roaches when he was a kid. But I like that idea, because now you're going to see a whole lot. And I don't know exactly what's happening in the Portland area. I believe Chicago would be better served.
Well, I found the thing. So I guess what it is he met the people, or he liked the pitch, or he liked the idea. But the 1803 fund is an intentional collection of resources, both social and financial, that will contribute and strengthen Portland's black community. So it's a fund. I guess the city of Portland, the black community in Portland came up with, like, hey, this is what we're doing. So Phil Knight, I guess he loved the idea, and he went for it.
Speaking of Phil Knight, have y'all seen that Michael Jordan movie about his shoes?
No, I was gonna watch it. I was gonna watch it yesterday. Actually, I started watching something else. Talking about Air.
Air, that's the name of it. Starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. If you're a Michael
slow
Jordan
down.
fan,
They not sponsors on this show.
But they're the stars of the movie. I mean, we said Air, and Air ain't really a sponsor of the show either.
Okay, I just saying.
Somebody really wanted us to know that they know what it is. Thank you, Shay. Shay, we gotta have you back on the show. 1803 fund for the black community, says Shay. All right. It's a pretty decent movie. You have to go and watch it. It's very interesting how they go through and, you know, deciding on, you know, using Michael Jordan. They went through a lot to get Michael Jordan. Finally, they got Michael Jordan, and they got him for like a steal. I think he was paid something like $6 million the first year and made $165 million for them that first year, 1 year long. So anyway, cool movie. 1803 fund. Let's keep it moving. We got a lot of comments. Y'all, a lot of topics to talk about. If y'all have anything y'all want to talk about, be sure to let us know. Ace has sent me quite a few here. I'm looking at their private chat, but a lot of them about people being murdered. I'm not going to talk about that. I think what people, he talking about the ratchetness of BET.
Everything I found out was off of BET. Everything I told you about was on the awards.
Meanwhile, this is the topics I came up with. Why is traveling so important? I know I don't want to travel to Chicago.
He's definitely
like I want to go to Portland.
He's definitely a VH Warner.
Yeah, traveling. Why is traveling so important? You know what? So me and my mom and dad, Tony and Deborah Goodson, my sister and Tori and Sydney, all of us, my wife, we all travel. And then COVID happened, September 28th, 2019, right before COVID was the last time I traveled. I went somewhere and have not been out of this great state of Texas since then. I have absolutely no desire to leave the state of Texas. I have absolutely no desire to really leave Dallas or get on the airplane and go anywhere. Now, Ace, I know you and Eric both have been a plethora of places over the last few years. Tell me, why is it so important for you guys to travel?
You know, I don't know if it's important. So, thing is, I actually traveled during COVID. I actually went to Mexico during COVID, and surprise or not, Mexico was far cleaner than America. You know, when I went over, I think for the exposure.
Is it far cleaner or more clean? Which is it?
In Mexico, we say far cleaner. See, that's why it's important to travel, because you gotta know how to place things. All my Spanish brothers and sisters, y'all back me up here now. But I think it's just exposure. So I never wanted to travel because I didn't like flying at all. Like my first time on an airplane, because I had to. My daughter actually had a opportunity with a major company to be a part of them, so we had to take a flight. So fast forward, I still never wanted to travel. And my mom, when she was alive, rest her soul, growing up, my mom went across the world, Paris, Jamaica, France, everywhere, Bahamas all the time. I never had that desire because I didn't want to fly. So fast forward 2020, me and my wife go to Mexico for our vacation. I get to Mexico and I instantly get mad at myself because I could have been seeing places like this my whole life. Most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. So beautiful, wind up, buying a spot down there, and we frequent, and now Playa del Carmen is like second home.
Okay. Well, I'm more impressed that your mom, she was humble. She flew all the way to Paris and she went to Jamaica.
In 2 days. In 2 days. It was Friday. She said, "Boy, I'll be home Sunday night." I'm like, damn.
Traveling broadens perspective from Shay.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Eric, you take cruises, you do it all.
I've done one cruise.
That ain't happening over here now.
My brother went on his first cruise. He done. He not going back on a cruise. But anyway, I think what Shay said is very important. I think it does broaden your perspective a whole lot, because if you stay in Texas or stay in Arkansas or stay in Alabama or stay in Idaho, you don't know what you don't know, right? So if you don't see other states, other countries, things like that, you just don't get a chance to experience what, like Ace was saying, you don't get a chance to experience those beautiful sunsets and those mountains out there in Colorado, things like that you don't have in Texas. So I think it's definitely important to have those experiences. And as I've gotten older, kind of like Ace, when I was younger, I didn't care nothing about traveling. I'm like, let's go to work, let's handle our business, let's grind, get back home, chill out. That was my routine for a long time. But since I've been married, it's been a little different for me. My wife she's very big on traveling. She's definitely encouraged me to do things I've never wanted to do before. So I think it's important, the opportunity to spend time with your loved ones as well when you go out like that as well. So
oh yeah, Shay said it helps to experience other cultures. Also, she says, Ace, go to Spain.
I really don't have a European desire.
What's up, Ace?
What up with Terry Wayne? That's my cousin. Look, I'm country. That's his same Terry Shake, but I call him Terry Wayne because I couldn't talk growing up. His name is Terry Wayne, so I just say Terry Wayne. I put it all together. So that's my kinfolk right there. Matter of fact, it's funny that he said what's up. So growing up, I used to just live through like my mom and his mom is my Aunt Carolyn. And Carolyn and my Uncle Easton, they used to just travel all the time. My Uncle Easton was in the bowling league and stuff. So my Aunt Carolyn just bring me pictures. She sent me postcards and, show me this and tell me this stuff like that. And when I was young, I was satisfied with that. Aunt Carolyn used to always bring it, but when I got older and I traveled myself, I should have been doing this. But
I think
amazing. I'm not running with them bulls.
I think it was Shay. I think when I think about traveling, I always think when I was a kid, I would see stuff on TV that just seemed so, what's something that seemed so big to me on TV, coming from a small town, Sulphur Springs. Back then it was like 10, 12,000 people. I used to see a Chili's commercial and I used to think, wow, to go to Chili's was amazing. And then I go off to college and I think Greenville, Texas even had one, which is up the street. And then I ate at Chili's and that was like a huge experience for me just to go to Chili's. There are people around my neighborhood who had brick houses. We had a wood. I thought if you had a brick house, you must be rich. You really made it. So for me, travel is the same way. The mecca of travel was New York City. And that when I started really traveling, that was the first place I went to. Probably a bad idea. You're supposed to lead up to a certain thing. But I went there and then I loved it. I went every year, but then I didn't really care about doing much else. Vegas is cool, but I don't gamble. Miami is cool, but I really don't want to sit on the beach all day. Love Chicago, but Chicago reminds me of New York. And so I say all that to say, what makes y'all, how do y'all decide where y'all want to go? How do y'all decide where you want to travel to? Is it just your spouses, or do y'all have desires too? Or do y'all like a plethora, here it goes again, Ace, of different opportunities?
So you have to break it down.
Yeah, definitely a plethora. You know, I see places now that's so beautiful and going to go. Just like Bora Bora is on the list. We're definitely looking at Hawaii 2024. Bora Bora is definitely on the list. And I'm just joking.
Did you say Bora Bora twice, or am I?
Yeah, I said it twice. I gotta
did.
speak it.
Oh,
I
really?
gotta speak it.
Deja vu sound like this one. Deja vu.
Definitely Spain is on the list. And I was just joking a while ago, but no. I've had so many friends go to Spain and pictures, and I see how beautiful it is. I'm like, yeah, I got to check Spain out. I really don't have too much desire in Europe, but Spain is definitely like, yeah, I got to check that out.
All right. Any final words on that, Eric?
No, I think I like the plethora as well. My wife chooses a lot of places, but like I said, recently I've been wanting to try different things out. That I can stay countryside. I ain't got to go out the country, but if we do, that's cool too. And I'm gonna say something about Hawaii. I've heard a lot of good things in the past about Hawaii. I haven't heard a whole lot of good things recent about Hawaii experiences. So, and it's expensive. So I would just say, do your research before you go to Hawaii.
What's that in your hand? A chip?
It's a chip, and I've been holding it for like 2 minutes. I don't know why I ate it yet. It's just there.
You don't eat it, man. They know you. Look, I'm hydrating and you chipping.
I don't know why I got it. It's just in my hand.
All right, let's
That's
go to
his
the
comfort
comments.
zone.
Sydney Goodson, the one, the only Sydney Goodson says, having the opportunity to try and see new things, sometimes you get tired of looking at the same thing that's in your country and want to see something different. That's outside the country.
What?
I like
and
that.
that's amazing that that's coming from Sydney, because she went to a great place today that I know she fell in love with. She got to see some great things, and she got to see some beautiful sights. And I'm confident she's going to be going back to that place.
Oh Lord.
Oh God. One of the cheapest colleges in Texas. I can vouch for that part. Shay says, change your Microsoft screensaver. She's referring to the fact that I say I don't have a desire to different photos around the world, and maybe that will pique an interest. That's a good one. I'll make sure to do that. You know what? I think I'm gonna just go drop the ball, just drop it today, and just Sydney is graduating from college real soon, so I think I'm gonna probably just take her somewhere. Didn't fall in love, Ace. All right, hey, let's one last comment, or better yet, one last topic before we get off this thing. All right, I'm gonna make it a little bit more controversial. We just had Juneteenth. What's most important to Black America, 4th of July or Juneteenth?
You mean actually thinking about it? Like, what's the importance? It got to be Juneteenth.
You know what? I agree with that, but I'm gonna say, you guys mentioned this last week a little bit too about Juneteenth. So my wife went to a Juneteenth celebration with the kids, and I was when another Juneteenth. I was supporting Anthony actually, but she went to a different one, right? And she said it was so small. Is where we live at. It was it was like maybe 50 people out there. It was a great experience for them. However, it was so small because a lot of people don't know about it still. Because a lot of people that's going to these places now aren't from Texas, right? So a lot of people still don't know what Juneteenth is. So I go back to the perspective of we have to continue educating what Juneteenth is, and I think it'd be more of a celebration for Black people if more people knew what it was and what the purpose behind of it is. And it could be, like I said, it could be an embarrassment for some people, but I think it's an important part of history that we have to get out there so people can understand why there's a celebration. You know what I mean?
Think with the size, I think a lot of it is because we celebrated so long as a family. I don't think a lot of people are getting out to celebrate, but at the individual houses and family houses, you have the celebrations, the barbecues. You know, my dad's
Texas,
side of the
that's what I'm saying. Texas, though.
Yeah.
I got a lot of people my wife's from Arkansas, right? So the people that she knows from Arkansas that live in Texas now in DFW, they's like, oh, that was great. I didn't know nothing about this. But so I'm saying outside of Texas,
are black people allowed to conjugate in Arkansas? Like 3 or more? Okay. I'm just checking.
I don't know about back then. They are now.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Let's take a look at the comments, because what y'all are saying is like, it's very interesting, because we got Ron James, who's from New York, Brooklyn, as a matter of fact. He says he prefers 4th of July. However, Shay Williams, who is from Texas, my neighbor growing up, she said Juneteenth is our 4th, but it's only a Texas thing. So she breaks it down there. Personally, another person from my hometown who made a comment that Juneteenth to him is an embarrassment. Now, I don't understand why an embarrassment, because black people couldn't read, so they didn't know that they were free for 2.5 years. So I still can understand Juneteenth. It makes sense to me. But I think that Juneteenth itself should not be the celebration. I think January 1st should be. I think I've said this before on the show. January 1st should be, because January 1st, 1863 is when all slaves were free. That's the true celebration. But is it a liberation or is it a freedom? What are we celebrating for Juneteenth? I understand I know what we're celebrating for 4th of July.
I was gonna say that. I'm glad you said that. What are we celebrating for 4th of July? 4th of July did absolutely nothing for us as a people. Now, if we're talking about America, it was independence, but we didn't. We gained no independence. It didn't matter to us whether we was independent or not. We was gonna still be treated a certain way. We were still gonna be slaves. So 4th of July did absolutely nothing for Black America.
It take a black person to say this comment. Well, black people just don't like their jobs. I'm sorry. I love it, Shay. I thought the same exact thing. A day off, just like the 4th. I'll take it. That's the beauty of having Juneteenth, because if we celebrated January 1st, then we don't get that extra day off. So I guess.
But we was working Juneteenth.
Well, that's true. We did have to work on Juneteenth. Might as well be January 1st. But it's progressive. Martin Luther King, it took many years before he could actually get days off on his birthday. So, and I'm not even sure if Arizona is doing it yet. So
that's crazy.
Well, whether it's January 1st or June 19th, whatever case it may be, I think that it should be noted and it should be talked about more, so people can celebrate if they decide to do so. Because one way or the other, it's not even talked about that slaves were free, and that's a part of American history. And Black history is a big part of American history, so we have to be able to talk about it on a level where everybody can understand, not just us as Black people, but for you talking about 4th of July versus the Juneteenth. If you don't have a conversation with other people outside this community, what does that really make a difference, in the long run, if you're trying to make a change in our society or past our community? So it has to be talked about, whether January 1st or June 19th. So
absolutely. One thing for sure is it's right in the middle of the summer, so school usually is out. So, kids don't get an opportunity to really talk about why they're taking a day off from school, for Juneteenth. But it's a very good conversation for the students to have and understand. Positive culture and history has been lost with the generation after parents. Thank you, Shay. Juneteenth has been like Kwanzaa. Shay and myself, has been celebrating that our whole lives. All right, one more comment, or better yet, one more topic, and then we're going to shut it down. But Texas Rangers are the only baseball team that haven't sponsored a Pride Night in all of the MLB. How does this make you guys, well, I can't say feel, because I'm sure you don't feel any way about it. What do y'all think about that?
I thought it was pretty interesting. Texas is pretty conservative for the most part, but so is places like Florida, and they've done it before. They've done it obviously with their baseball teams down there. So I just think it's interesting. Texas has taken such a hard stand on this topic, and honestly, I think people can do what they want to do, but I think I applaud them still. I don't know. Some stuff should be celebrated. Some stuff, in my opinion, shouldn't be. I think you have the ability and you have the opportunity to be and say and do everything you want to do, as long as it's within the law. But everything don't have to be celebrated still. In my opinion.
What? I'm gonna tell you right off the top of my head, I can't think of one subculture that needs to be celebrated. Not one. Not a subculture. Right. Black people, we're a culture. We're not a subculture. Gay people, subculture. We can think of a lot of subcultures, but none of them need to be celebrated on a national level like that I can think of off the top of my head. So when you start giving in on everything, because this, in a lot of people's minds, is horrible. And I'm not saying that because we don't want to be. Go ahead and tell them our disclaimer. Hey. Really don't want to be shut down.
The views expressed on the show right now are not the total and the whole thing, so we ran to the whole.
But it gets worse. Like for most of us who are straight people who don't have a whole lot of affiliation with people who are overly LGBTQ and all that stuff, we feel like this right here is kind of outlandish. What's going to be outlandish for the Pride people, for the LGBTQ community? Something's going to happen. They're going to be like, man, that's ridiculous. and we're gonna be like, yeah, no, y'all ridiculous. You know, so some of those people. Again, I'm not trying to throw it under.
You know what? I think it's in the. I don't know how to say it, Eric. I think it's also in the budget too, though. You know, they have to think about the long run. I mean, so let's say you have that Pride Night celebration, things like that. You got to come in, clean all those seats, all those leather thongs, and you know, sweaty cheeks and stuff in the seats and stuff. Now you got to pay a team to come through and get all that, you know, get all that sanitized. So that's something you got to think about.
Brandon does not.
Sticking to the baseball thing, came out of left field, Ace, with that one. I appreciate that.
All right, so we're getting ready to shut it down. I'm just going to read some of the topics that Ace had on here. That was Eric's, by the way. Here's one of the topics that Ace had on here that we did not discuss. Uber driver shot in the back of the head by a woman who thought she was being kidnapped.
You know what? That's
7 inmates become the first to graduate from Yale while incarcerated. Not bad, actually, Ace. Michael Jackson is being sued for child molestation. Goodness gracious.
That's what's going on.
We need to put this on your. And then look, pedophilia. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Going off the comments we were saying earlier. That's really good. All right, hey, look here. We've had a great show. I've enjoyed this. We got to do this again next week, y'all. Give us some topics. Y'all send them to us, email them to us, put it on Rebrand us, whatever.
Yeah, you just read 63 of them.
Oh yeah, but I mean, those need to be on the tabloid at the front of a Walmart or something like that. Here we go.
Hey, yo, Ace, who do we have on the show next week?
I'm discussing the topics that have to deal with the black families. And you know the food or the drink is good when the person says squallow instead of swallow. We're going to have an interview with Liberians with Tourette syndrome. And the name of the show is going to be titled Breaking the Rules. And we will have their mics muted most of the time. Married couples that swing at the playground. Are they confused or just risk takers? Giggity, giggity. We'll see how that goes. You know,
Adrian, the Ace Stinson, and the rest of the Rebranders crew live Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube and Instagram at Rebranders Podcast, Facebook at Rebranders, or Rebranders.org.
I work too hard. Look, I work too hard for this stuff, man.
All right, so some people have said to me, Ace, why is it y'all use that same promo for Ace? And I said, well, you know, I would have had some new videos, but he hadn't said anything funny in a while. So, I'm challenging you. So now I'm gonna give you a minute to come up with something. Just
this is what they don't realize. So this part of the show right here is where I actually tell everybody who's coming up next. These are actual people that I've interviewed, or people that I've sought out, or people that I've reached out to be a part of our show. So some of them are funny, some of them are serious topics. But next week we have some people.
Wait, hold on. Hey, Ace, who do we have on the show next week?
Okay, next week we have a group of people that's crazy. We were talking about baseball because we actually gonna be interviewing. We have a couple of major league players, and we're gonna be interviewing baseball players who always take a walk because they love having 4 balls. And that's it.
Couldn't be.
You have to get it's coming after the Pride thing. They have celebrating Pride and all that.
So if I put that in the promo, I got to put the whole conversation we had.
Yeah, you got to put it in there.
So they get the context.
Right, ball 3. Give me one more.
Let's see what the. All right. That's the comment right there. I'm sure that's Tony Goodson. I don't even have to go and look.
That's hilarious.
You know who it is.
Hey, thank y'all for joining us tonight. I've had fun. This has been a great night. I'm playing my promo one more time before we leave. Tell y'all that right now. Y'all be sure to go and watch Because of You. It's on YouTube under This Is Me, Anthony Goodson. Or you can go to Rebrand Us and it's posted on there too. Hey, look, if y'all have any topics for us to talk about next week, we're just gonna kind of freeball it like we've been doing. We have
hey, let's not go
maybe
too
I
far
shouldn't
this Pride thing now.
Just can't say ball like that right now. It just equate. We'll see y'all next week.
Most blacks didn't really want to go.
It was terrifying.
We just did what we were told to do.
The schools are still backwards.
Oh, I love that. You feel safe. Now that when I got home, I told Mama, I said, I'm not taking this no more.